Hello and welcome, my friends, to another episode of the TomCast. It's been a little while, and I hope y'all been doing really well since our little, not really hiatus. I actually went on a little vacation, but I am joined by my good friend Andrew. Andrew, how you doing?
Hello. I'm all right. Has been a while. I hope you've enjoyed your little trip there, Tom. It's good to be back in the quote-unquote studios.
Yeah, and then the other, instead of Mike around, and we'll kind of explain that a little bit along the road here, we have a new, basically it's going to be the new co-host for the next little bit, but we're going to introduce my good friend Wavez. So, Wavez, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic, man. Woke up, hit my exercise like I usually do, and I had a great one. It's raining here. It's a nice humid day. I've been having a good one.
Yeah, you could say it's been raining here. I just had
Amelia, remind yourselves.
Yeah, quite literally right before recording, I got home and there was a storm that swept through the area here in Italy that I'm living in, and the rain hit the door at the right spot, and it hit the gasket on the door and just blew that sucker out. So now there's like,
oh boy,
yeah, a little puddle of water in my house. Well, it's mostly all gone now, but now I just gotta wait for it to dry or use up all of my towels and then not shower for like 3 days. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
We've been there.
We'll figure that out.
Hopefully it's not too bad to figure out, but
No, it shouldn't be. Or I'll just leave it there and it'll be disgusting and gross and it'll grow into mold and then...
You got a free mushroom farm. You got to look at the upsides on everything, man. You know, glass half full.
Mushroom farm. Okay. I get carried away here.
Yeah, get a little bit more, get some more mushrooms, be a little more cultured, as they would say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, as I said before, our good friend Mike, the prior co-host, I feel bad because we made all these stupid jokes in the last one of like, Mike, you're fired for liking Maniskin. And in short, yeah, we did fire him for liking Maniskin. And long, actually, he's just going to be incredibly busy for the next almost good year doing a bunch of life stuff and work stuff. So sadly, he won't be able to join us for a little bit, but we got a new co-host to replace him who's better, because my good friend Waves here, he's another...
I don't like Måneskin.
Yeah, he doesn't like Maniskin. And more,
already a big improvement right there.
Yeah. And more importantly, he's like another half Italian as well. So, slowly but surely, we're going to replace, Andrew's safe, because Andrew's Filipino. Okay. Andrew's Filipino, so he's like, you could stretch that out and say that he is of some Hispanic or Spanish descent.
He's basically Spanish.
All right, I'll take it. But I guess I gotta keep a lookout for your hit squad then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just learn some goddamn Spanish.
Or learn some goddamn Spanish and Italian.
Learn Italian. But and then Mike's just gonna be gone for a little bit every so often. When basically when he remembers, if he wants to report in, then he'll report in, and I'll read out a little blurb. And then if not, then we'll just carry on without him. And then when he's done his stuff next year sometime, hopefully sooner, but if it's next year, no problem, and he comes back, we ain't gonna kick out Waves. We're just gonna make this a 4-man show, and I'm just gonna cope and seethe, because I gotta edit this bullshit for 4 people now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I would do it myself, but that's a lot of work, and
well, you're stupid. You're stupid and uneducated.
I'm really dumb, and I can't figure this shit out for myself. So that's why I need you, Tom.
Yeah, you need the Roman man.
That's right.
The Emilian-Romagnan man to tell you how to do it. Well, actually, I won't even tell you how to do it. Andrew would be like, okay, time to edit the thing, and he like click on the keyboard and be like, oh, I somehow on Adobe Audition deleted Systems 32.
That's right.
And I just basically like, give me that, like snatch it out of his hands. I'm like, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, at that point, it's just better to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Alt F4 was not the save key?
Yeah. Anyways, I guess introduce a little bit how my good buddy and I, Wavez, met. The easiest, simplest way is being awful and mean and racist to each other on Twitter.com. That's well, not to each other because we're both of Italian descent. So it's basically us holding out against the horde of all the Baltic Finno-Ugric barbarians that are out there.
Finno-Ugric barbarians.
Yeah.
They're a crazy bunch.
Yeah, some of which that would probably be on the show as a guest one of these days. I would sure hope so.
Oh my goodness, you've let the enemy through the gates, haven't you?
Yeah, they're goofy. I love them. They're all goofy. They're all goofy. Even though one of them got turned into a cake and got his head chopped off. And for anybody that does not get that joke at all, I am not even going to explain it to you. So, yeah, rip Bozo. No, it's amazing. It's amazing the kind of people you can meet and the friends you can make by just hanging on Twitter and doing stupid crap and being in some goofy spheres. But won't go much further than that. Otherwise, we're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get in big trouble. But anyway, so yeah, we're all doing pretty good today. Now we're gonna try and keep this short because not just one. We're doing this episode because in the next episode we got a fat episode. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty, fellas. So
it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be a fat episode. But we want to get this one out of the way, not just to introduce Wavez and just do some funny things, but also just to get one out and do one quick, so we could just get it out there, get it quick, get the audience to customize.
Time the mass is over.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, the first little introduction thing that we're gonna kick over to Wavez is basically, homie, what kind of games you like to play? Because this is mostly a gaming / movie podcast. So what kind of games you like to play?
See, I'm the craziest person to ask that too, because I have a really hard time doing it. It's like music. Like if I find something's good, I'm gonna play it. I don't limit myself on genres. So I have Team Fortress 2, Stardew Valley, Mordhau, Mountain Blade, Gmod. Then I play a shit ton of FIFA and F1 2021, Football Manager. I put way too many hours into Fallout, Elder Scrolls, everything.
Yeah.
Big, small, obscure, not obscure. I love it all. If it's a good game, it's a good game.
You're not paying for the player cards in FIFA now, are you?
I used to.
Oh,
when I was a wee boy.
Oh no!
See, I don't pay a cent anymore.
Okay, he's been saved.
Yeah, which is more than we can say about you, Andrew.
No, let's not talk about me. Let's not bring it about me. This is about Wavez. It's about Wavez.
We gotta talk about that Paradox Interactive, which Wavez also is.
Yeah,
is also a Paradox Interactive guy. I don't know if he's like me and he's a recovering addict and is not playing that trash anymore.
Oh no, I play it.
No, okay. What?
I have the maptism.
The maptism. Oh my god. Fantastic.
Yeah, we all love a little bit of map painting.
Maps. I like LARP.
Yeah, I like to kill millions of people. I love to LARP.
LARP. Getting chatty in my little LARP session.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, and it's pretty much everybody here. We all got like weird, goofy little tastes. Like I'm the same way. I kind of like pretty much most things. I think the only genre I don't like is MOBAs. And
yeah, I'm not a MOBA guy.
Yeah,
not a MOBA guy.
I'm with you there.
I know guys that are obsessed with them. It's always either you're obsessed with them or you like picked it up once and we're like, yeah, nah.
No, pretty much, yeah. It's really one or the other. There's like no in between. I don't know very many people that play MOBAs that are like, yeah, I just kind of, I do it every so often. It's like, no,
because the matches take 40 minutes.
Yeah. It's like lawn matches in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, damn. I guess
that was one game. There goes 2 hours of my life.
Yeah, I guess his baby isn't gonna get fed anytime soon.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll just soil myself.
Do it later. Why don't you ask me later?
Exactly.
Anyway, the first and only real topic in this program, because we're gonna try and keep it short, is basically just to kind of do a little icebreaker, little exercise thing. but we're all pretty cool, so it don't really matter too much. But it's kind of a little neat topic because, well, I don't know. I thought it was neat, but we're not gonna do the same like games we're excited for, and games where or dream games or whatever that we want developed, because we did that as our first episode, and this is the 7th episode, so we already did that. So we're gonna do something different. So this time around, it's gonna be our top 5 games in our backlog. So everybody's got them. Unless you're so destitutely poor, then I apologize. But get a job. Don't listen to this program.
What are you doing? You should be working right now.
Yeah.
You should be working.
Go to the mines. Go work in the mines.
Go to the mines. You know what? You can download this and then listen to it while you're in the mine.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, this is a preferable alternative while you're getting black lung. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then when you get black lung, and you're in the iron lung, or is that only a polio thing?
It might have been a polio thing.
That
Is
might
that
have
still
just-
a thing that people do?
Yes. Yeah, there's still some people on iron lungs. They
Yeah.
still do the iron lungs.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, like in The Big Lebowski, when they go visit that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And go smash his Corvette in.
Yeah, that
And
wasn't his
have it turn
Corvette.
out to be the Corvette of the name.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we all got backlogs. We all got games that have been on our Steam, on our PSN, on our Xbox, whatever, that we may have downloaded or we don't have downloaded, and that have been just sitting there for ages and ages and ages. And it's like, man, we really ought to play those games. But as well, sometimes in our backlog, it gets like almost like a wish list. There's some games that are in that backlog that we really, really ought to play, but we don't own for various reasons. For example, I won't spoil it now, but I do have one that is a PS2 game that it isn't in my backlog. Why haven't I played it? Because it's $300 friggin'. That's why. And I don't got the money to play that game yet. So
Yeah, no, that's fair.
No, I wouldn't pay that. Not at all.
no comment. No comment. No comment. Literally, Tom with like $20,000 worth of PS1 and PS2 games right beside me.
Yeah,
That's accumulated.
right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, most of it's pretty accumulated. And within the last couple of years, prices for some stuff has just gotten stupid. But
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like N64 games and stuff. Like I have a stack sitting next to me right now, and
Yeah.
it's like Super Smash Bros. On the N64. It's like $60-$70 around where I am in stores.
yeah,
I got
jeez.
old vintage stores.
yeah, like Mike, he's got my Super Nintendo right now with all my games, and it's like, I don't know how many of them, but there's a few games in there that I know they're not like Mother 3 or Earthbound price, which honestly, I'm gonna be real, that game is not worth like $1,000. I'm just gonna be real.
Wow, Tom, you better be careful. You're gonna get a bunch of people
Yeah.
gunning you down if you.
Yeah, a guy's gonna
Well,
come up.
it's a good
You're
game.
gonna be the next
I
Biggie
like
Smalls
them.
there for starting that sort of beef.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with Tom on that one, 100%. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but I just it's not worth it to pay to just emulate it.
Well, sometimes the rarity of a game doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good quality. Like
Yeah.
there's like one game that my buddy Andrew, you know Brian, he's got a copy of Coom, which is like a Japanese horror game. That like if you have it sealed, it's like a $3,000 game, which he doesn't.
Wow.
He's got it open, and so open it's like a $1,000 game. And I'm gonna be real with you, that game's like trash. It's an actual terrible like survival horror game, and I have no idea like why it fetches for that price, apart from just scarcity. But anyways, Waves, my friend, should we start off with you? What do you got? It doesn't have to be in any order, as you could just list them off.
I think it's about time for another Knights of the Old Republic run through. First game.
Oh my god.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Last
Okay, hold on. I
played
gotta change a
December
few things on my
4th,
list here.
2019. December 4th, 2019, last time I played it. I'm starting to look at that. I say I played Knights of the Old Republic 2 more recently, which is funny, but I'm like, I think it's time to go back to the first one. It has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I was just I was talking to our good friend in the server here, because he's blasting through Mass Effect right now, and he's absolutely loving it. And he's like, are there any other games like this? And I'm like, ironically, like, not really. There's really only other BioWare games, but Knights of the Old Republic is very much an RPG and not like an action game. But
and of course, when you say BioWare games, we're talking like OG BioWare. We're not
OG,
not new BioWare.
Quite literally 20 years old this year. That game's gonna be 20 years old this year, and it makes me disgusted. Like, I'm sick.
That's how I felt with Halo 1. When I turned like 20 years old, I was like, dude, that's like that gif of Matt Damon fucking aging.
Rapidly aging. You just feel your organs see just, I'm dying.
I like that one. I also like to use the one like Snake from Metal Gear Solid 4 with like when he got the cigarette and he goes from like the him in disguise as like a younger Snake to like old Snake.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, it was like I was listening to the soundtrack of KOTOR, and I was like, man, it's been a while. It's been a while since I played KOTOR. Yeah. You know.
No, and I hear there's rumors that they're thinking about doing. Aren't they doing a remaster of Knights of the Old Republic?
Oh my god, that is such a is such
it a remake
a rabbit.
Or a remaster?
It's a remake. So, oh my god, I know I said this was gonna be quick. Should I spell out the lore on?
Now go on. We're gonna let you cook.
So, anyways, so basically, Aspyr is the company that's developing the Knights of the Old Republic remake. Well, not anymore, and I'll explain why. But anyway, so like Aspyr, they're like a company that somehow they're made of some former BioWare devs, but this isn't like your Casey Hudsons or your like Mark Daras or your Drew Karpyshins, like these people that are, I don't want to say important because it's, you know, games are a collaborative effort, but game directors, lead writers, executive producers, that sort of thing. This one's made up of just kind of former people in the studio and former people that used to work at LucasArts. And so they, for the last maybe, I want to say like 5, 6, 7 years or so now, they've been doing basically porting old games to new systems. So either like touching them up for PC and I think PS4 and Xbox, but more importantly, the Switch. So like there are ports of like Republic Commando on Switch, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy on Switch. Knights of the Old Republic, and then Knights of the Old Republic 2, and they even advertised for Knights of the Old Republic 2 the restored content mod, which
wow.
Let's just say they just announced the other day that actually we can't do it for reasons that I'll lead into.
Of course.
But so basically, you got this company that hasn't really developed a full game, and you're giving them the license to develop a full game. And so they announced it. They announced it a couple years ago at a PlayStation thing. It was supposed to be like a PlayStation, either a timed or PlayStation like console exclusive. And so they were developing it. They were making it a kind of action RPG. So instead of like the old combat system, it'd be something like God of War or some sort of like action.
They gotta stop fucking doing that. As someone who grew up during the big old console wars in the early 2010s, that shit is so annoying, and they're trying to like kick it up again when it really hasn't been a thing for that long.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They've pushed really hard for it recently. I'm like, guys, kids, you're both just awful.
Yeah.
I used to be a really big console fan, but they really just don't innovate as much anymore, especially with... I feel like the biggest thing is just the size of games now. Like, the hardware space that they sell you for the ridiculous prices they do is nowhere near what games are. I mean, Call of Duty alone right now is like 200 gigabytes, I want to say, if you have everything installed. Probably 100 if you just have bare bones stuff, and that's bare bones at 100.
Yeah, that's because they don't know how to compress anything. So it's just like, oh, here's
and
some...
they have a bunch of bloat files in their work.
Oh, exactly. But anyway, so yeah, they were making this game, whatever. And then eventually, I think it was in 2022, so last year in around March, I think, they had a vertical slice. So a vertical slice, for the fellas out there that don't know, is basically almost like a demo. It's a demonstration of your game that it's not the full thing. It's like, here's this section where all the systems and everything is in place as it should be for a final release. So basically, like, this is what it's supposed to look like at the end of the day. And so they showed it off, and all the main investors were there. So like Lucasfilm was there. They saw it and they loved it. They thought it was so cool. They're like, damn, this is pretty damn cool. Other investors saw it, like Embracer, I think, is one of the main investors. They looked at it and they said, yeah, you know what? This looks pretty damn good. This is good. Here comes Sony. Sony comes along and they take a look at it. And they go, nah, this looks like trash. You know why? Because they said it was, quote unquote, not cinematic enough.
And
What
does that even mean?
It means Last of Us, Gods of War, fucking...
Exactly. It means that it's not a third-person, over-the-shoulder, camera angle, Sony bullshit movie game. That's what it means.
Uncharted, sadly.
It's not one of those games where it's like, oh, they all look the same, they all play the same, they all poop the same, probably. It's nonsense. And the thing that's so frustrating is that it's an RPG. It's a role-playing game. They don't all have to play that way. Like, I know it wasn't supposed to be like the old Knights of the Old Republic, because that is...
Dice roll, yeah.
That's old, and that's, like, to most audience people...
I'm gonna be honest, as much as I love Knights of the Old Republic, the fucking combat system sucks. I hate that shit.
It's like, oh, you're doing... They took, like, not quite Baldur's Gate combat system, because that's just second edition AD&D, but they basically, they made an RPG system, like an old school one, and then just put it into the game and then just ran it through. And it's just like, yeah, okay, but like a 3D game like that, it doesn't work so well.
Yeah, as a kid, especially when I was playing it, I was super frustrated. I'm like, I'm right there. Like, my lightsaber, my sword, whatever, is going through him, and it's like, miss, dodge. I did not understand it.
Mm-hmm.
When I got older and played D&D and whatnot, I was like, oh, okay, I see exactly what this is. And I still don't like it.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm like, this sucks in 3D, bro.
Yeah, that's the one thing in re-going through that. It's like, damn, I wish this was a bit better, but it's whatever. Now that I understand it more as an adult, I can at least actually be good at it. Because, like, man, they'd be like, when I was a kid, I don't even know how I could go through some of the game. Because it's like, you'd brute force it in all the wrong ways.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, oh, no, I'm not going to level up this stat. I just want health and strength. Then it's like, damn, why does my guy get sick and die? Easy.
Yeah, and have you ever looked back on some games and you remember ways you did things as a kid and you know the right way now and you're like, holy shit, I made that so much harder for myself, but I made a really stupid, complicated way to beat this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's like certain games I look back, I'm like, I struggled with that, or it was like, I really did all that shit when I could have done just this. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so yeah, they got Aspire got the development of Knights of the Old Republic taken away from them. Apparently, it's like at Saber Interactive now within Embracer is developing it, but it's like basically shuttered for a bit. Like, we probably won't see it till like 2025, 2026, which is a bit of a disappointment, but whatever.
That is a shame.
Yeah, game dev. Thank you, Sony. Thank you so much.
Well, they made so much money with God of War, and
exactly.
I guess The Last of Us to a degree, so that they feel no need to change it, right?
But it is what it is. Anyways,
yeah, when
Andrew,
a company hits that gold mine, they just want to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew, what's your number 5?
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, the topic.
Yeah, the topic at hand.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tom, as you know, I've been playing through Divinity Original Sin first with a
Ooh.
few goobers from my old retail job, and then my brother. So
I saw how much time you had on PC, and I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. I brought my PS4 here to give to my cousin, and I went in, I updated this stuff. I saw your time on PSN, and Andrew, how the hell can you play that much on PlayStation?
Look, man,
I don't even know.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
What can I say?
But like an RPG like that on console, like I have no idea how it works.
It's been. I'll give Larian kudos. It's been ported and adjusted very well for consoles. As far as the different menus being turned into like the little radial wheel, and that's how you kind of navigate through various menus. So it's as far as console ports or whatever you want to call it go, it's pretty, it's up there.
Okay. Interesting. Because like my like RPG, that kind of RPG, like console port experience is not even playing, but is like watching a friend of mine play like Dragon Age Origins on the Xbox 360. And I see him playing this, and it's just like, I'm looking like I'm on Mount Olympus or something like that, like looking at man like hit two rocks together to like, I don't know, make a wheel or something. And I'm like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing?
See, that's interesting because that game was like designed with consoles in mind, right?
No. The Dragon Age Origins was developed as like an RPG first and then ported to console. Dragon Age 2.
I thought Microsoft would have. Okay.
Dragon Age 2 going forward, was like, action button. That's the big meme, but.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, so keep going, Andrew.
Yeah. So speaking on Divinity, I have essentially the entire classic library just sitting in my Steam. Dragon Commander, Beyond Divinity, Divine Divinity, and then Divinity 2. Not Original Sin 2, just the regular 2. So they're there. They're calling for me. I know I should at some point play them because, A, I spent money on them, and B, I like the company, so I might as well show some appreciation. So those have been on my backlog. I did try getting into Dragon Commander years ago, but there's something just a little off about it.
Yeah, if you if you don't know what you're getting into and you get into that game, it's like, what? Like it's almost like it's kind of baffling. I don't know how to describe it, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's a strategy. For those who aren't aware, it's like a strategy slash political sim slash dragon action game, all baked into one. But every aspect of those is half baked, and you can tell they are half baked. So it's kind of a slog, but yeah. But no, it's fun to explore these kind of more esoteric and kind of out there experimental titles every now and then. So yeah, I got to get into that at some point. Beyond Divinity and Divine Divinity are pretty much Diablo clones, so that goes without saying. And Divinity 2 was made around the time of KOTOR, so I believe it borrows a lot of design elements from that.
Yeah, that one's more of a RPG, because like I've played Divinity and Divine Divinity a little bit, and then it's like, it's like an ARPG, and I'm like, nah, I'm good, thank you. I don't really care. But Divinity 2 I did play a little bit, and I'm like, you know what, this is more kind of my style, but that was like ages and ages ago, and the port was just kind of like, you know how like some of those old games are these days, where it's just like a hassle to play, and then they all look poopy, and you need like not a million mods, but like usually some sort of unofficial patch or something, and I just wasn't having it. So
I feel that.
But yeah, I should probably go and take a look at some of those. Should definitely give Dragon Commander another go around, because that is a kind of really interesting game. The most I remember from that is that you could like. There was like a dating sim part of it where like you could like date and romance like the skeleton, like the lich or whatever.
Yes.
That's the only part I remember of that game. And I'm like,
it's not a dating sim per se. It's very early in the game. You have to choose. You have to make a political marriage with one of the
it's a political courtship.
one of the races to build up their affinity or whatnot. Yes, you can marry an undead, and then you can go through a whole rigmarole story to get her a new body or whatnot. And of course, she's just the best one out of all of them. So why you wouldn't do that in the first place? Beyond.
Yeah, definitely got to get... I'd love to play the older Divinity games. I started off with Divinity Original Sin 2.
I think that's a lot of people.
And,
a lot of people started with...
Because it was one that popped out of just, its niche as well. It got kind of mainstream, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for good reason, too. It's a good game.
And I need to get around to playing the first one, really, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
First one's pretty good, too.
Yeah, it's really good. The sauce of sauce.
The sauce of sauce. 2 really refined the formula, but a lot of the elements are still there in 1.
Yeah, and I'm looking for a new RPG right now to get into. I've burnt myself out on Elder Scrolls and Fallout and everything. Even the old ones, Fallout 1 and 2, I've played through recently. I'm scratching my neck. I need something new. Whether that be new old or new. I'm not. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, not in this economy.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, but since we're all poor, there is well, Andrew has it, and I don't think I have it. No, I don't think I do, but I'll probably just not eat for that little bit. But Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out this year. The full release is in end of what is it, like August 31st or whatever?
Should be August, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably wait for that because not because you have August, right? And it's August 31st. It's basically September. So you start in September, but guess what comes out on the 6th?
Remember, you're gonna have to remind me.
Starfield.
Yeah, same. Oh, it's
boy.
finally here.
Sorry.
No, Tom, don't listen to his sweet little lies.
I'm gonna listen to his sweet little lies, and they're not lies. They're taken out of context. It's taken out of context.
Getting away with this.
Hey guys, Todd Howard here. Thank you so much for buying Skyrim. It's Skyrim. I fucked you.
It was not
Skyrim. Oh my God,
This is who opened
Mr.
up the
Howard.
game.
When did you get here?
I'm sending the Bethesda hit squad to your door right now.
Right.
You guys will get all those crappy sacks that we promised with Fallout 76.
Oh my god. Yeah, what are the molding ones?
The fucking black mold bags.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They had the black mold bags in the helmet too. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
The shitty 3D printed helmet. Yeah.
And their shitty Nuka-Cola rum.
Oh my god. Where it's like this, plastic like cover or whatever. Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway.
Thanks for the free asbestos bag, Todd.
Yeah. Well, they had to get it out of the Bethesda building somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, well, let's just put it in the bag and sell it to people.
You want your canvas bag? All right, fine.
Just throw it in the power armor helmet. Just ship it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
The flame retardant.
Yes, there we go.
Boy. Anyway, guess I'll go to my number 5 here, and then this one I have. And this is really, I won't say cheating because Andrew kind of did as well, but my number 5 is Castlevania games I haven't played. So like, there's quite a few actually, because like I've played 1, I've played 3, I've played Super Castlevania 4, which is my favorite. That's the one on Super Nintendo that is on it, like the best one out of all of them. I don't want anybody coming in here with a what about Symphony of the Night? And it's like, what about
Symphony of the Night?
What about Symphony of the Night? What about you go kill yourself? Like no. Metroidvania looking ass. Like I had enough of that. But because like there's a million like DS, like Nintendo DS, like Castlevania, Metroidvania games that are like that I don't care about, like Dawn of Sorrow and some of the trash.
Yeah.
Those ones I don't care about. The ones I care about is stuff like Castlevania Dracula X, or aka like Super, in Japanese it's like Super Devil's Dracula 5 Rondo of Blood. Like that sort of stuff.
The Japanese always go way harder with their names than we do in English, dude.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And so, why haven't I played that one, even if it's on Super Nintendo? Because that copy's like $500. Like, it is a nasty, nasty price. I haven't played the 2 Castlevania games on N64, even though those games suck. I still want to play them as like a history thing. And then Simon's Quest. I haven't played that one. I haven't played Simon's Quest, which is Castlevania 2, which is one that like pisses everybody off because it's it goes from this like a side scroller platformer to this more like adventure sort of setting where you have to like kneel before the sun and then do all this other esoteric nonsense. So people
every night is a bad night to have a curse.
Yeah, what a terrible night to have a curse. And then what was the other one? And it's like the sun has come to vanquish the night, I think is what it says when when it turns the day again. But yeah, that's kind of what I have here, because like I really do like the OG Castlevanias. I think they're tough as nails, but man, those are fun platformers.
They're so satisfying to beat.
Oh, absolutely. When you beat them, you feel like, yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, I can take on the whole world. Yeah, can I take on another Castlevania game? No, I gotta take a break.
Please, no.
Please. But anyways, buddy, go on to your next one.
That's gonna be honestly the entire Dark Souls series. I haven't played these in a very long time. I put so many hours on Xbox into all 3 of them, but I have them all on PC now, and I think it's time for it. This is definitely one of those series for me where I get really kind of sad and nostalgic, because I'm like, I remember the fucking hype in these games and the community not knowing a damn thing, and YouTube videos, weren't that big, so people weren't getting spoiled immediately and stuff. And it's like,
oh my god,
the initial hype of the Dark Souls games and like how active the community used to be and how unknown things were. What's that guy with that weapon? What's that weapon? When you would learn, I really wish there was a way for you to forget like a game completely, so you can just go into it like that again.
That's like, yeah, that's one of the topics here that I have in my little document that we'll have to do one day, because there's like there's always gonna be like, here's a list of games that I wish I could just get that Men in Black like memory beam thing and they could blow it right into my eyeballs.
So I can just go into it, especially RPGs with like twists and stuff. It's like,
absolutely. And
I'm gonna throw Elden Ring in the Dark Souls category too. I have not finished a single playthrough of Elden Ring.
Me neither, but that's because I don't like it.
I'm in the same boat. I'm a huge Dark Souls fan.
Mm-hmm.
But Elden Ring has almost all the problems that they refused to solve in Dark Souls, and then they added new problems.
Thank you, my Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, God, so much. Somebody who finally gets it. Oh my god.
Because it's kind of a mediocre Dark Souls game, and it's a mediocre open world game.
Absolutely.
It showed me that the Dark Souls formula can't be done in an open world. Some of it is so stupid.
No, it takes the worst design elements of both.
Yes.
And puts them in the middle.
Because Dark Souls, as good as the art direction and enemy design is, they can't fucking... Their level design has always been all over the place. You have some god tier levels, and then you get, the fucking flame area from Dark Souls 1.
There's bugs and collision problems that have been around since Demon Souls and Elden Ring. And I played it, and I'm like, are you seriously? Like, we're like 20 million years later, and you still haven't fixed this nonsense?
But it's like some of their design choices where it's like, right, Dark Souls was linear. You play it in a circle. Sometimes that would branch and you could do one area before the other, but you still ultimately probably had to do both, or it was a bonus area. When you take the linear formula that they have and put it in an open world, there are some things that they needed to change that they didn't. And one thing was their storytelling and their NPCs and their quests. I saw a weapon, I went for it off the gates and went into some other areas, learned that I soft-locked myself out, or I hard-locked myself out of all of these character quests because I didn't check the butthole corner of the map and talk to an NPC that's hiding in a rock.
Yeah.
I'm like, that shit makes sense when it's a linear game where I can just kind of 100% every area and check every nook and cranny. When it's open world and you punish me for exploring, it really just pisses me off.
No, exactly. Where, like, in a normal Dark Souls game, those games, like, on replay, it's not even... They're not too bad, so it's like, oh, crap, they soft-locked this quest. Well, I could, like, resave or do something else, and then, or I'll do it on my next New Game Plus. But no, with Elden Ring, it's like... The one where I basically dropped the game is that I got to... I don't even remember, because I don't remember any of the names. Because this is, like, the 5th time I've had to remember, like, Poo-Poo Pee-Pee of the Abyss or something like some stupid name like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like,
And
I
by the
don't
way,
care.
They really wanted it to not be Dark Souls, but it's Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Like, they have bonfires, they have everything.
Exactly.
And they reuse assets from Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, and so I was like 40 hours into this game, and I was talking to my buddy Matt, and he's like, man, dude, you're like just barely like a third way through the game. And I said, no, that's it. Like, I'm done. I'm not playing any of this game anymore. It's like, why not? And I'm like, because I've been 40 hours into it, and I'm having no fun. I'm not enjoying this. I'm not going to do another 90 hours of this. Like, hell no. Like...
Also, they've gotten... One thing that people barked at them for in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, which they kind of fixed on Dark Souls 2, ironically enough, was reusing enemies. Oh my god, Elden Ring is the worst offender. Like, I get it. Game dev's hard. Character design's hard. But they reuse way too many enemies, and then they give, generic enemies cloned, make them bigger, make them blue, give him a bit more health. Now he's a boss. I'm like, dude, is this the 90s all over again? Like, are we just reskinning sprites, dude?
No, exactly. And so, Wavez, my friend, I'm gonna put an idea to you and see if you agree with me on this one. But I'm the sort of guy, I love my Dark Souls or FromSoft games because the initial playthrough, it might be maybe... like roughly maybe like 20 to 25 hours. But what I love in replaying them is that I can certifiably blast through a game like Dark Souls in a day. Like blast through it like 7 hours and stuff like that. And that's kind of one of the things I love about those FromSoft games. Is that once you know everything, once you know what you're doing, that you can actually blast through it in a pretty decent amount of time. Are you kind of like in that same boat with me there? Do you?
Yep.
See?
I have a build in mind. I'll go into a build so I know where all the build items are. And it's like, oh, if I really want a quick playthrough, I can just blast through the, non-optional bosses. Oh, I want to do it DLC time. All 3 of them have great DLCs. And so you've got the DLCs, which are optional, completely optional, as well as optional bosses in the game. I'm like, well, shit, I'll go back on this character and beat these bosses now that I'm stronger, have this build completed. That's why I had so many hours in characters. I had like 12 different characters on Dark Souls with 100 hours over on each of them into New Game Plus 3.
No, exactly. And that's what I like about it. And with Elden Ring, I saw like none of that. It's like, sure, you could like, you could get, it's like, oh, well, yeah, you could get good and you could know all these things or whatever. But there's so much crap in that game that your fast playthrough might be like 20, 30 hours. And it's just like, nah, no, thank you.
Just from the size of the game. And then they also did fucking the new trend on things is to bitch about online multiplayer. Because people complained about griefing and stuff. Because there's been a whole divide. It's a whole rabbit hole. Because people think that invading in Dark Souls shouldn't be a thing at all because they're pussies. So you're like, I was playing and someone invaded me and they killed me. It's like, yeah
that's the game, bro.
That's the fun of it. Like someone joins in.
The whole thing.
Exactly, that's the point.
Like Red Dead Redemption 2, they gimped the fucking online. People were like, I'm trying to do this thing and I keep getting killed by another player. That's the fucking point. That's the fucking point.
Exactly.
And they did the and they listened to that shit in Elden Ring, and Elden Ring's invasions are awful. You're always at a huge disadvantage. You're always getting ganked. The host has so many advantages because people were like, I want this to be a single player game without turning my game offline. Like, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. They all have that option. It's like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So they gimped it. The Elden Ring, they listened to the community, which they shouldn't have done. And they gimped invasions. Yeah. Invading is so fun. Being that random person, you don't know what kind of build's gonna come through that fucking invasion. It could be a goofy build. It could be some sort of unholy one-shot glass cannon build like they like to do. Anything.
Well, yeah, the guy coming out and he's like, yeah, naked guy with giant club, and you know you're done for.
you're
like,
done
shit. I'm not landing a hit. He's gonna parry me from behind. He's gonna reverse parry me. Fucking.
Yeah, or giant dad walks out and it's like
time to make peace.
You gotta love a good giant dad build. As much as hated as that was, I've got it. I've got like 3 of them. I love giant dad.
Exactly. Andrew, what do you think of all this nonsense?
Well, first of all, it's just hilarious how passionate and heated you are
oh my God.
about all these changes to it. I never played Elden Ring, and honestly, the only Souls I know you're gonna kill me you're gonna hate me for this. The only Souls like I've really played in depth was Bloodborne.
Yeah, but that one's good though.
Yeah,
that one's actually really good.
I bought a PlayStation just to play fucking Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, I gave my PS4 to my cousin, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I showed her like this game here. I'm probably gonna come over and play every so often. It's Bloodborne.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, man. And the other thing too, and it's like this is like an old head like boomer argument, but
no, go ahead.
Every time there's a new FromSoft game, more and more people play it. And there's this syndrome, like it's your first FromSoft game syndrome, where you ingest all this magic and all these Elden babies, and I hear you in the audience because I know who you are, all you Elden babies. You come at me and you complain, oh, but I like it, I love it, I've never played a game like this. And it's like, yeah, I understand you've never played a game like this. Buddy, I've been playing these games since like Kingsfield. I've been playing FromSoft games since Kingfield. So like, don't hit me with that. I understand. Yeah, it's magic that first time. But buddy, this is like the 10th time I'm going through this. So I'm tired. And when your 10th time is Elden Ring, where it takes all the wrong things from numerous things and puts them together, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it. So you think you're gonna be smart by saying, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so this. No, you're not. Get out of here. Go play Kingsfield, and then come back to me, and you might actually enjoy it. Probably
so, Tom,
not.
what you're saying is we need to gatekeep all of our favorite franchises.
Yeah, we need to gatekeep all of our favorite franchises.
This harkens back to our OGL D&D discussion.
Oh my God.
How the floodgates are open with Critical Role, and now we need to shut them off again.
Yeah, gatekeeping is good, unironically.
Absolutely. My goodness.
So I was going to harken back to that.
Yeah.
Get these damn barbarians out.
Exactly. Oh boy. So, well, I think we should probably move on, because otherwise I could just complain. I could complain and complain and complain.
We should just make another topic on gatekeeping.
Yeah. No, there's so many things we could talk about gatekeeping.
Oh, brother.
Andrew, what's your number 4?
Next up, I have been on a bit of a nostalgia trip as of late, and there's going to be a few titles that are like
fair
that
enough.
on my list. Destroy All Humans, 1 and 2.
Oh man,
I don't have 2 yet, but 1 is on my Steam and it's staring at me. They're all staring at me. What am I saying?
I got both of them. Like, I could reach behind me and get both on PS2.
There's so much stuff that you ought to play, but this is the time where we got to prioritize things. So Destroy All Humans would be.
Man,
that's I love. Great game.
Oh, that game. Those games are so funny too. Like, oh, so much fun.
All the writing was pretty clever.
Like, oh my God. Now I'm gonna be upset because Pandemic is no more.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
What a great studio, man. What a
here's the one that we lost.
Yeah. Yeah, cheers
Pour one
to
out
the
for another one.
You know. My goodness. Well, are we gonna talk much about this one or just move on?
I mean, it's good. Like the end of story.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say.
Destroy All Humans, classic.
And it's like, yeah. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Fun one.
I guess all I could say is, like, I'm glad THQ Nordic is it's putting in the work and making all these titles available for us again.
THQ Nordic is doing a lot of old school stuff. That's great. Like, they put up around the same time as the first one, they brought out that Battle for Bikini Bottom game. and I played the crap out of that.
Right.
That was so much fun. And they made a new SpongeBob game that apparently is really good. And I'm like, man, I gotta get on that.
Gotta get into your SpongeBob lore.
Oh my god, I love those games. Those games are great. But
They are.
so yeah, Destroy All Humans 2.
Yes, Destroy All Humans. Destroy All Humans 2. On the back burner. Everyone should play it.
Absolutely.
Everyone should.
Play it co-op
It's just
too.
a fun game to sit there and just. One of those games where you can just sit and have fun and not have to think about it. It's not super intensive and hard unless you want to make it that way. But like,
Yeah, it's a fast food
it's
game.
one of those chill games. Yeah.
You just eat it and enjoy it. You know what you're getting into. You're loving it.
That's right.
Exactly.
Oh boy. My number four is a game for PS2 that's called Haunting Ground. And so,
Haunting Ground.
so probably nobody knows this. Haunting Ground is like it's one of those like, not bespoke, but it's one of the many like survival horror games from the PS2 era that are pretty decent, but kind of get overshadowed over your Resident Evil 4s, over your Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, over your like Fatal Frames, that sort of stuff. So this game, it's kind of in the same league as like Rule of Rose, which is an Atlas game, survival horror that it's also kind of hard to come by, or Clock Tower 3, that's a similar sort of thing, or even probably Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented is kind of in that same sphere. But this is one where like you're this girl and you and your family get like caught up in this road accident and like your parents die, and you're taken to like this castle that's very kind of like, not fairy tale like, but it is like a classical castle. And there's like monsters and stuff in there, and you gotta figure out, and it like the only companion you have is like this dog. It's like this white shepherd, I think it's called. And so like it's just you and this dog companion going through a survival horror castle, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And so it's just a cool game I've really always wanted to play, but similar to Super Devil's Dracula 4 Rondo of Blood.
That is such a wacky name. I love it.
It's like a $300 game for PS2, and it's just like, nah, no thank you. The answer should be, no, idiot, you should buy that, because if you don't buy it in 2 years, it's going to be $1,000 game. But
Yep.
yeah, it's just one of those where like I just never got around to buying it when it was cheaper. Didn't get it now, so it's one of those I could probably like emulate on PSX2, but or PCSX2, but yeah, I'll get around to it one day. But oh boy, because there's other like Rule of Rose, that one developed by Fatless. That's like out of the case, that's like another $1,000 PS2 game.
Oh jeez.
And it's like, oh brother, like if you have that game, and it's a good game. It's got a lot of problems though. It's a good game. It's not as bad as Kuon, I'm not gonna lie, but it's another one of those where it's like, man, this game is great, but I don't know why it's like $1,000. Because it's rare, but yeah, that's just how it goes.
That's scarcity problem again.
That's how she goes. Anyway, well, are we gonna move on? Sure.
I'm ready if you are.
Number 3, Waves, you go ahead.
Let's see here. Cry of Fear.
Yo!
Last played July 10th, 2015.
Man.
I remember I got this game because, full admit, that like 10, 12 years ago when I was watching PewDiePie, he played it, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, it's free! Oh, man. I remember it's scaring me shitless as a kid. Now I just kind of, do this. All right, go through the door. The enemy's going to be here. Cool. Bang, bang, bang. But, I need to get dark and spooky and really get into it again and play through.
Man, that game is such a riot to play through. It is like...
It fucking is. It's crazy.
Andrew, this is one of those games, like, this game, its main scare are jump scares. But I kid you not, the jump scares are so common and back to back, it just don't even matter. Like, you hit that first jump scare, and you're just that high tension for the rest of the level. That's just how it is. Like room
And it's
for
mostly
room.
because the enemies hit like fucking trucks, and there's limited resources.
No, that's a messed up game too. Like, yeah, really heavy themes, really like, just disgusting enemies that are like, oh my god, like, you would lose monetization on some of those characters. Just how like.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy thinking how YouTube was. I remember the shit that people used to be able to get away with back in the day, and now they can't like even say a minor swear word within the first 30 seconds of a video, or else it gets flagged.
Yeah, exactly. But
insane.
Yeah, like
but Cry of Fear is so
Cry
cool.
of Fear.
It's
good.
As dinky as it is and everything around it, I'm like, it's still one of those where I'm like, I love it. I don't care.
No, it's I don't really have anything to say against Cry of Fear. Like I usually don't like games that their tool to spook you is like a jump scare, but this is like one of those games where like they do it so often that it's like it's not even, you don't get the scare part of it, but you get like the heightened tension, like heartbeat of it every single time. So it's just like it's a weird way to do it. Andrew, don't play this game. You will legitimately, like, without exaggeration, your poor little heart will probably have a heart attack. You will probably die if you play that game.
It'll just give halfway through the game. Not even like a quarter in.
You'd get through the end of the first level, and I think you'd probably, like, you'd be deceased. I'm pretty sure. Because there's other horror games that I'm like, you could probably go through it. You could probably, like, you would tough it out. It would be excruciating and awful, but you would come out a better man. Cry of Fear? No, you would just die. You would just die. It's a health
you look
hazard.
it up for me. keeping my health in mind.
No, it's like, even just watch a video like talking about it or reviewing it, and you'll know exactly what it is. Like, it's just wild.
Right here, gotcha.
Man.
Gotcha.
And then,
it's free.
wait, so you've played any of the other games that they've made? Like,
I think so at some point. They're not in my Steam library, but I feel like I have.
there are other Gold Source games. I'm not sure if they have their own library, but it's like, I think it's, Afraid of Monsters is the name. Like, Afraid of Monsters Director Cut. That's the other one. They're, like, also really, really good, yeah, like Gold Source, survival horror games. That are also, that's one of those games where, like, it's completely pitch black all the time, and you have this dinky flashlight. And it's like, oh, good one. It's a good one.
So Slender Dude?
No Slender Man. The Slender Slims. Okay, Andrew, before you get a heart attack, what's your number 3?
Hard pivot away from horror. We're gonna go back to kind of what would it be called? Oh, you'll know when to say it. I've got Deus Ex Mankind.
Oh, Immersive Sim.
Immersive Sim. Thank you.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew.
I know.
Andrew.
I know.
Andrew, explain to the audience my frustration.
Your frustration is the fact that I've got Mankind Divided, Human Revolution somewhere, and the original Deus Ex ready to go on my Steam library, and I have started Mankind Divided, never finished it, didn't start any of the other ones, despite the fact that you, on several occasions, have told me to. You even gifted me the original Deus Ex for Christmas, so literally no excuse, and yet here I am.
Andrew.
Never touched them.
You cannot, even though you should, because it's good, you cannot insistently quote the first Deus Ex and not play it. And not understand why it is so brilliant. And still...
I can understand why it's funny.
Oh, it's great, but it's like, as a game, you play like, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, and those are good games. The only problem with Mankind Divided is that it kind of ends when it gets going, but that's not an Eidos thing.
Why.
We know what happened.
We know why.
Yeah, it's Square Enix, and they don't know how to handle nothing.
Yeah.
But you play those games, and then you play the original Deus Ex, and you'll go like, oh my god, how could those baby games even compare? And even though they compare greatly, they compare really well. Like Eidos Montreal has made some really good immersive sims, but it's like those are those games, older, more goofy, more like old school, but on crack.
On crack.
But on crack. Like,
what were we talking about, crackheads there, Tom? No.
Yeah. Where like you have, you could do this many things in Human Revolution, and Deus Ex, the original one, you times that by like 10. There's so many more ways to do things. It's wild. So many more goofy builds, but yeah, no, those are very much worth going through again, because I played through the original Deus Ex last year, I think. Yeah, I went through it last year again, and it was great.
You go through it every now and then.
Yeah, that's one of those the ancient meme. It's like one of those ancient memes that are the like motivational posters or whatever. And it shows like the docks at the whatever island the Statue of Liberty's on. Liberty Island, I guess. It's like it shows the docks from that, and it's like it says Deus Ex, and it's like every time it's mentioned, somebody reinstalls it. Yeah, like that's the. And
you to a
It's
T.
true. It is. It's like, man, I think about it and I talk about it, and it's like, and then I talk about things I like about Deus Ex, and then eventually it's just like, yeah, and then click install. Time to run through it again. But I haven't played through Human Revolution or Mankind Divided. I haven't played through Mankind Divided since it came out, because it upsetted me so much. So it should be time for a rerun through it sometime soon.
Just the way that the studio was handled.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, we could talk for hours on that.
Square Enix. They don't know what they're doing.
Square Enix.
No.
And by the way, I'm with Chris O'Neill on hating on the fucking Final Fantasy VII remake. I think that shit's stupid.
I'm with you on that one. It's like one.
I don't mind the shift, honestly, to the cinematic bullshit like Final Fantasy 15, but I hate that they're doing it so bulky. They're like, here you go, $70 for the opening segment to Final Fantasy VII. No, fuck you, full game. Come on,
exactly.
Get it the fuck out.
Exactly. That's why
they gotta split it up 3 ways so they can milk you suckers for all you're worth.
Exactly.
Then they took all the RPG elements out of it, which I miss from Resident Evil. Like, I want to name the characters and name them Butthead and other stupid things, you know?
Oh no, his name is Cloud. Cloud Strife. You can't.
Cloud Strife, dude. You don't understand. We have to make him cool, bro. He has to be Drippy Cloud.
Oh my god, this Hot Topic looking ass.
Yeah.
No, stop.
It's like, yeah, but you know what we really need to extend? The brothel place. We really need to extend it. We really need to extend it.
Scene.
Like, thank you, Japan. Thank you. Very cool. Thank you. Man. Anyway, we're at number 3 still?
Yes, we are still at number 3.
My number 3, this might come to a huge surprise. I have played none of these games. I've played maybe one a teeny bit, but that's like maybe like 20-30 minutes of. And I've played none of these games. And it's one of these games I know I gotta get to one of these days, because I know I'll probably like them. But I just haven't to because of the fact that they're on the Nintendo ecosystem, and I don't really.
Yeah,
I'm not really there.
Fair.
I have never played any all the way through, or really of any substance. I've never played any of the Ace Attorney games.
Really?
I've never played any of them, and it's one of those
especially
games.
with the new shit that they put out on the Switch. Like, I don't know a lot of people that have Switches.
Exactly. Well, I know of quite a few people that have Switches. I know people that are like, "Here, take mine," and I'm like, no.
Nah.
No.
Well, you should have, because then you could play the Ace Attorney games.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, I could just get what is it, Dolphin Emulator? Yeah, I'll just do that.
All right, good point. I rescind my statement.
Fun.
I defer to your judgment.
Yeah, the Ace Attorney games, for any people out there that don't know, they're basically like these police, detective procedurals where you get every single little piece of evidence at like a crime scene, and you have a cast of characters in every crime, and you basically gotta like piece it all together, and then you go to court and you argue it. So for people that are in the sphere, they probably know, but the goofy like objection, like that's Phoenix Wright, the main character of Ace Attorney. And it's one of those games where it's like I know I will like it. I know I'll probably eat it up because I love other detective games like it. I've played, ironically enough, I played one of the Professor Layton games, and I really like that one. I'm not sure if it's made by the same people, but I think it might be actually. But
it probably is. They had a crossover at some point.
Yeah, they had a crossover, and so I really like that one. So it's like I probably really like that one, and more importantly, and it's completely different, and it's not as in depth at all. But I love Danganronpa. My God, I love Danganronpa.
Oh my goodness.
I really love Danganronpa.
Oh boy.
So it's like if I love Danganronpa, and I love the investigation part of it, and if I love the investigation and gameplay of Professor Layton, and I like, of course, one of my favorite detective games ever, that people just don't play too much anymore, and it's sad. Good old LA Noire.
Oh yes.
Man.
Oh, that's good.
Me and a friend in the server here,
game.
we were talking about it the other day, and I'm like, I know I played this like a couple years ago. I think I need to play it again.
Yes.
I love LA Noire. That game is so great.
Some of the dialogue just goes.
That game is so great.
From 0 to 11
You
in 3
fuck
seconds.
young boys.
Yeah.
Are you a madman?
Yeah.
You fuck young boys, Chang.
Yeah, Valdez. Yeah, it's like it's the ambassador, like the
I always remember the fucking
or the consul general to Argentina is that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't like people who get to touch my car. And then it's like, do you like little boys, Valdez?
What? And then he immediately flips his shit. That is one of the most realistic scenes ever. If someone just randomly, just after that sentence, just, you fuck young boys, Valdez, like, I would probably react the same way.
That reaction is very warranted.
The original one, too, is great. Yeah, it's like, it's, what is it? It's like, what's it called? Yeah, it's like, some people don't like Jews, Mr. LaRue. It's like, yeah, and you're one of them.
Yeah.
And if you get to like one of them and you're like trying to get them to like confess or whatever, and it's just like it's like we're gonna send you to the gas chamber. It's like, yeah, why don't you think you so going up? It's great. And I'm like, this game,
60s were a magical time.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was great. Yeah. Phelps, my young lad. You've done well so far, but you just haven't done well enough. Now grow over some lumps, boy, and go back in there. I need a confession. It's like, oh man, I love LA Noire. I love LA Noire. And since we're on this topic quickly, I should mention the canceled Team Bondi game that was supposed to be basically LA Noire, same sort of detective investigation stuff. You working as a private PI in 1930 Shanghai.
Oh, that would have been so good.
That would have been so friggin' cool, it's not even funny.
That would have been just pulp schlock to the nth degree. Oh.
Man, if like for the audience out there, if you haven't read about like that era, like 1920s, 1930s, like era Shanghai, read about it because it's so cool. It's at like such a neat like city where you have all these different quarters and you have like these different like work there. You have your British quarter, you got your American quarter, you got like a Spanish quarter, you got a German quarter, you got the Chinese part of the city, like you got like a Japanese quarter. Like it's really,
you got
really
a gray
cool.
quarter where they keep all the dark elves.
Yeah, the gray quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the the ghetto, but that's it's a really cool place. So yeah, go search it up on your High Elves lore. Oh boy. But yeah, Professor Layton not Professor Layton, Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta play these games one of these days, and I'll probably enjoy it and eat it up. But let's get on to number 2. Waves, what you got? What you got for us?
Oh, it's gotta be Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, honestly.
Oh my God. We were just playing through that.
Oh my goodness.
I I played it a little bit past its heyday, and I really want to get into it really and have a lot of fun with it, but I last played it 2 years ago, so I think it's about time.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Andrew, you know how I feel about this game.
Oh, I know how you feel. And I know how you feel regarding the recent developments behind the studio.
Oh, my God. The fellas out there that don't understand, Antimatter Games, who are the developers of Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, they recently went under, and they had like 2 projects. They had one that's like a reboot of like Project IGI, which is some like random first-person stealth game that nobody cares about. Like some IP that they saw in a dumpster and said, you know what, I'll eat that. I'll buy that for $1.
Perfect way to put it.
And then the other game, the one that I was really looking forward to, it was called 83, which was basically a like Cold War gone hot scenario where it was basically Rising Storm 2 with a bunch of players on each side, and it was NATO versus Warsaw Pact. So it's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I wanted. But no, company went under. We're not getting those anymore. The world is hellish. There's no justice in this earth. Rockstar keeps making money.
Why do they think Black Ops 1 was such a hit? That whole Cold War era is like a gold mine of cool shit and ideas, and no one ever touches it.
Yeah, that's like the one I've been wanting Battlefield to go to for the longest time. It's just like, just give me a Cold War one. Cold War gone hot. Just please.
Because Call of Duty did it. Why did Battlefield do it? Come on, you guys used to follow each other around all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
And then you made 2042. Ugh.
Yeah, and they
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, everybody forgot about that.
It's like so bad you forget about it. It's insane.
No, it's like, oh, that's such a. If there's so many, we could do like a whole episode on studios that have fallen from grace. Dice's would be one of my high ones that just irks me so much. But oh my God.
Heck, there should have been like a Splinter Cell game centered around that. Like Cold War is perfect for espionage and.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That kind of. For
sure.
Oh yeah.
But with Rising Storm 2, yeah, like Coiv and I, friend of the server, we were just playing through that like a couple months ago. Playing through quite a bit, and it's one of those where like playing through it to the point until we got sick of it, because I can only play this game for maybe a month and then I have enough. I'm like, I'm so sick of playing this game. And then you gotta uninstall it for a bit. The other part too that I don't like about it is that it's like a 60 gig install.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fat game. You know, and like
me sitting here eyeing Total War Warhammer 3 at 110 gigs because I bought it and barely played it.
Yeah.
Well, at least most of that game is like from the myriad of units. Most of the data from like Vietnam is probably just like their cosmetics and shit like that.
All the maps that nobody votes on because they suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're doing Hill 937 again? It's a fifth time!
Why the fuck is that one so popular?
The fifth time! Yeah, or Mike, me and Mike playing Resort 24/7. And it's like, yeah, I think it's just this one map over and over again. And like, Mike, did you choose Hill and like Resort 24/7? It's like, no, the map's got to change one of these times. And then look at it. It's like, it's like Resort 24/7.
Mike, you moron! This is why we're executing you.
Yeah, you're going to be executed ISIS style. You're gonna be roasted, barbecued, Asian style.
Beheaded.
Your days are numbered. What? Oh man. Yeah. It might be time to get back into Rising Storm 2. That's one of those where like, I'd have to contact.
It's
Coiv.
funner with friends.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure it is. It's fun with friends,
especially
AKA
when you pick up the game, like I said, years after its heyday, and the level 100s just show no mercy and just beat your skull in, so you can't learn the game.
Oh, exactly,
God, no,
exactly.
They're there to stoke their own ego. Okay, they're not there to ensure everyone has a good time. It's all about them.
Ironically enough, Rising Storm shares a community of people with Battlefield, which is the dudes that sit in helicopters the entire game.
Oh yeah, the sweaties. The sweaties that don't know
It's
nothing.
the same dudes. It's so weird to see. I was like, oh, this is Battlefield. This is Battlefield. It's the same community.
Oh boy. Alrighty, Andrew. What's your number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Now this is not number 2. Now this is not indicative of quality. We're just saying that we can do these in whatever order.
Yeah.
But I do want to actually play in depth Iron Harvest.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because despite all of its flaws and its shortcomings, that
It's a cool setting.
It's
the
a super
setting-
cool setting. Yeah, for sure.
the setting is just fantastic. If for those of you who are not aware, Iron Harvest was kind of like that Scythe board game-esque 1920s setting with diesel-powered mechs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a diesel punk
it's as if
setting.
The Great War, diesel punk setting. The Great War never ended. It just kind of evolved with these different factions that are somewhat reminiscent of real-world factions, but throw mechs into the mix. And it's a tactical strategy game in the same vein of like
It's like Company Heroes. It tries to
Company
really.
Heroes. Yeah, Company Heroes. Or Dawn of War.
Yeah,
Two,
like Dawn of War
it is.
2, yeah. Where it's like kind of more real-time tactics, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the game.
Exactly. You got smaller squadrons, sort of thing.
No, it's
But yeah.
like it wasn't a bad game. It was just really okay.
Yeah.
Like nothing really. It should have been way better. Like if it was as fluid and good as like Company of Heroes or Dawn of War 2, then I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Because it's kind of a bit stiff in ways that it shouldn't, but
Yeah.
it's one of those where like I kind of forgive it because the setting is so cool. Because it's just like, man, this stuff's cool. Diesel punk is always really cool. When you got
Something you don't really see a whole ton.
no, exactly.
It's always steampunk. Steampunk this, steampunk that. I just want diesel punk for God's sake.
Yeah.
Well, Comic Expos and all that made it popularized steampunk. All those people who are quote unquote cosplaying and they just add like a gear to their top hat.
Yeah, gear to their top hat.
Oh wow, daring today, aren't we?
Daring today, aren't we?
I'll take the top hat with the gear on it. How original, sir. Yeah, and the goggles too.
Goggles.
Daring today, aren't we? Oh boy. Yeah, I guess it's
SpongeBob, one Reddit steampunk on the double.
Yeah,
Yes, Squidward. Yeah, fucking.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Is this steampunk? No. This is Scythe.
No, this is Patrick.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Good. Cool setting. Coolish game. Should have been better. I think they're doing a sequel though.
It needs a mod community with it. If there can get a little mod community going with it, it could be a really cool game.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That goes without saying that mods can almost make any game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Now,
sure.
not in the same vein as Bethesda, where mods pretty much fucking fix the game.
Yeah, they carry the game.
I'm gonna say it again, okay? You listen, you little brat. The way games are released these days, you would wish they were Bethesda games. Because Bethesda games come
That's
out
true.
more fixed than the trash we've been getting.
That's true. That is unfortunately true these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Tom, are they fixed, or are we just so used to Bethesda's bugs that we just come to expect it and we forgive it?
No.
No. You've been
They're
helping
certifiably
the
less
copium.
broken, in my opinion. Oh boy.
Well, y'all boo me, I'm right.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what doesn't care about whether you're right or wrong? A 9mm parabellum to the skull.
Yeah.
But anyway, before I cope and seethe and crap my pants, go on to number 2. Number 2 on my list, I got Gothic 2 in the Risen games.
Oh.
So
I got
I
this
knew.
trash, this German trash on here. Because like
right.
I've played both Gothic 1, I've played through all of it, And it's one of those, it's a great game until like 3/4 of the way through, and it's like, yeah, I've kind of done everything I really wanted to do. And you usually drop it. I haven't played Gothic 2, which I've heard is pretty much the same, but more, plus turnip farming, plus hanging out with Mohammed al-Ibn al-Sharidi, and that sort of stuff. And then there's Risen, which is like, it's made by the same studio, which is like Piranha Bytes, I think. Because like Joe Wood got basically turned into Piranha Bytes, but it's basically like you're washed up on like this pirate island, and it's the same combat sort of sense where you gain experience by killing things, not by like there's set an amount of enemies and stuff like that, and some of them will just beat the hell out of you and stuff like that. And it was I remember a really cool kind of setting, and that's the one thing all the games are apparently really good at, where it's like a neat setting. It's like you really kind of get invested into it. You're like, oh, you kind of uncover it as you go, and there's usually different factions and stuff like that. But yeah, I've only played Gothic 1 and Risen 1, and I haven't played anything more than that. But I know if you look on Metacritic, they get worse. The scores get worse. And it's I need to discover whether it's just like the games actually get worse, or people just don't understand how like German RPGs work.
I get the feeling it's the latter.
I think it's like they just don't understand what like Eurojank is. They don't appreciate Eurojank. And when I mean Eurojank, I mean like German Eurojank, which is like you guys sure are really good at, creating machines that eat up your entire country for the blackest coal ever.
That's right. But the exact same shit every single time. Well,
but when it comes to making games, they did Elex, and then Elex 2 that I think is coming out. So somebody keeps buying their games.
Yes,
they keep making games, which I mean, good for them.
They're still here.
They're still around, so that's kind of amazing, to be honest.
There's actually a quota that Angela Merkel is instituted. The German citizen has to buy these games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's required.
Each German child is given a copy of them at birth.
Yes, right.
Yeah, Mutti and Papa get me Risen every day, every birthday.
That's right.
But, yeah, those are games that, I need to get into, because it's been a while since I've played any of these, and the ones that I haven't played, I need to discover. I need to figure out what the hell is going on. I need to
crack the code.
Yeah, I need to take my plate to the toilet and figure out if it's shit or not. But Wavez, my friend, my buddy, we're at number 1.
Drumroll.
Number 1.
Drumroll.
Number 1.
And number 1, the entire Call of Duty series, like the good old ones, unironically, like World at War, then into Black Ops 2.
Yeah, World at War is pretty solid.
My first Call of Duty that I played was Call of Duty 2, big red one on Xbox, the original. The first one I owned when I was old enough, I got on Xbox in 2010, Xbox Live, Black Ops 1. That game was so hyped because they're like, hey guys, we're mixing it up. Not Modern Warfare, not World War II, which is, the only 2 wars that American game companies are allowed to make games about.
Yeah, that's right.
We're doing the Cold War, and everybody was like, no fucking way.
No.
And then Black Ops 2, that was before we hated future games as a community in Call of Duty, because, I don't know, jetpacks in Call of Duty just isn't fun for me. Except Infinite Warfare, underrated game. Both the multiplayer and the zombies and the campaign.
Yeah, but you know what came out literally in between that and Battlefield 1? The better futuristic shooter of Titanfall 2.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, which EA shot in the kneecap both times on both Titanfall games. Today we have amazing first-person shooter IP. Clueless releases it at the same time as other franchises.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that is just such mismanagement on
EA
scale.
I think it was intentional. I think there was some shithousery going on.
Yeah, there's something shiny was going on.
Once shame on me, twice shame on you.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was OG. I bought it way back, so. Did it change anything?
Yeah.
No. But man,
No.
is Titanfall
damn
such a
shame.
good game.
Because now Apex is here, and Apex is here to stay. Just
Oh
like
my
every
God.
franchise, like Call of Duty, you fucking turn it into a battle royale, and then you get fucking money for the rest of the time.
That's right. I was there, Tom. I was there when the company turned them all
Yeah.
into battle
By the way,
royales.
anybody in the world want to remember the first Call of Duty battle royale, a Blackout that they immediately just shot in the head in Left 4 Dead?
I don't remember that at all.
Strength of EA.
Yeah, it was in
Activision,
Black
and
Ops
Blizzard
4.
failed.
Oh my god.
Blackout.
Yeah, I kind of do now.
They dropped the campaign. They're like, we're not doing a Black Ops campaign. We just want to keep the franchise, so you'll buy it.
Yeah.
So it has battle royale.
Well, and that's the thing, because, like, I'm one of those guys. I want the ABK Microsoft deal to go through, so, like, all those Call of Duty games are on Game Pass, so I could just play through the campaigns. I don't even really care too much about the multiplayer.
I mean, they're good. They're action movies.
Exactly.
People are like, well, it's Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty. I'm like, it's an action movie, and it's a cool action movie too. There's good voice acting. There's pretty good stories. Like,
Yeah, and people like,
cool
yeah,
settings.
but yeah, they're only like 4 hours long, and I'm like, yeah, thank God.
Yeah. You don't want to sit through a 20-hour action movie. Jesus.
yeah. You don't understand. Every game needs to be 200 hours because I don't have, I need something to do. It's like, listen, man, I need to pay rent.
Yes.
I need to live. Like, I need to go out and socialize.
Well,
You
it's
know?
like-
Grass to be touched.
I just don't think I could handle like a
Exactly.
10-hour Call of Duty game,
No,
like campaign.
no,
It'd be
that's too much.
It'd be too much.
Ramirez, last mag. You said that last time.
Yeah.
But we needed another 10 hours.
Ramirez, plug the crucible in. Ramirez, find the catalyst.
Oh my God.
We don't. We're not talking any spoilers because I know somebody who's listening that is playing through that. So, but oh boy, Andrew, number one.
Number one. This one, this again is going to be another nostalgia game for me, and it's going to be a little bit out there. But as a kid growing up, back when Blockbuster was still a thing, yeah, remember that?
Oh boy.
Back when we had to go into video stores and pick up discs or tapes that other people manhandled for God knows how long, and man, that was
Taped over.
That was the best. Anywho, one of the titles that I rented quite often, because it was just so endearing to me for whatever reason, was Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life.
Oh my God, Andrew.
Yeah.
I
Now,
forgot about that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I know that you can just download emulations of that, but at the same time, there's also a remastered version on Switch called Under the New License, because of the whole Marvelous whatever IP shit. This is now called Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life.
Something like that. Yeah.
That includes all of the quote unquote deluxe crap that GameCube never had, but apparently PS2 did. So I have been eyeing that. Now I will admit that the new art style doesn't quite hit the same notes as it did. Yeah. The original Harvest Moon art style is just it's something that you can't really compete with. So the new Story of Seasons one it's all the elements are there, but it just looks a little off. But that is one that I am planning or have been eyeing and do plan on picking up at some point to
Very nice.
try and relive. Because that's all.
I get
that's
that
all it is now.
100%.
We're just trying to relive our nostalgia.
And that's like
Ah.
it's like people recommend me all the time. It's like, well, you like this stuff, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. Why don't you play Stardew Valley? And I'm like, lady, I'm gonna tell you, it don't hit the same. I don't care how good it
I like
is, it
Stardew
just
Valley,
don't
but it
hit the
doesn't hit
same.
the same.
It just don't hit the same.
Me with the James Bond shooters on N64, like I can't introduce people that didn't play them to them because they're so janky. But I'm like, if you were there, if you grew up with your cousin or siblings playing that game,
Exactly.
You had a good childhood.
you had to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And fucking Game Boy, like original Pokemon games and everything. Pokemon deserves more flack, by the way. It's another dick-ridden franchise. They need to change the formula.
we've torn that one apart.
I'm sorry, but Japanese companies are like 15 years behind in some aspects on Western companies, for the better or worse. One of those is online systems, and one of those is refusing to fucking change up. And they still want to market Pokemon as a kids franchise. Can we just get an adult Pokemon game? The manga is adult. The fucking
that is true.
You know what it's
weird.
called?
like
you know what's adult?
Digimon.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But you know what's adult Pokemon? Andrew, you give it away. You know exactly what I'm gonna say.
Rick and Morty.
No. Andrew, you know what it is?
Oh my god, no. All right, yeah. Heartbeat. It keeps on pounding. Persona, my guy.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Persona,
Waves, if you haven't played Persona, it's
I played Persona.
Yeah, it's adult Pokemon. It's what it is.
That makes sense, yeah. Similar style,
It is quite literally adult Pokemon. If you think of like all the mechanics and systems, it's pretty much Pokemon, but actually good because it has a good story.
They just need to add more shit to do, like Persona, like there's a bunch of, not only the story and stuff, but like Pokemon needs to mature in their stories, but they need more shit to do. Like it's the same game essentially as, basically the biggest step forward they ever really took was Gold and Silver, like because that took the most changes and added to the base Pokemon game.
Bro, that's
the
what
other
I've been saying.
Yeah, they just improved on the core game and the rest of the games, and the ones that they keep releasing are just the same thing. I'm like, give me some, it's an RPG, go full RPG with it, allow way more RPG features, skills, personal life, fucking owning a house or something, like living and being a part of a world, not just like a static 2D game where you battle 24/7. I'll play that game to the ends of the earth.
They need to get Shoji Meguro to do soundtrack for it.
That too.
They need to do that. So it's just like if it's like Persona, but what are we talking about?
Number one. Harvest Moon.
Harvest
We're talking
Moon,
about
that's
Harvest
right.
Moon and Pokemon, and then briefly Persona. But now it's what's your number one there, Tom?
My number one. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I got an honorable mention because I literally just thought about it, and so it's gonna be very quick because it should be somewhere, just anywhere on this list. That I have them on GOG, and I really gotta go play through them again. This is the Homeworld games. Man.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I gotta play those games again because it's like played them ages and ages and ages ago. The only one I haven't played is the one that sounds the most interesting from, of course, watching the Mandalore video, which is like the Homeworld Cataclysm, where it's like an almost horror strategy game in space. And it's like, man, that one sounds so cool. So that's, one I gotta do, shout out to that. But my number one that I have listed here is one that, like, I played so many old head games. I've played so many of the greats. There's one game I haven't played that so many old heads that have been there from the OG will, like, tell me, how the hell have you not played this game? How the hell have you not played this game? And this game, it's Final Fantasy IV.
Oh yeah,
Final Fantasy IV.
Okay, I've got a lot of things to say about Final Fantasy IV.
Andrew, I've heard it described from so many people that Final Fantasy IV is one of the best written games of all time. Are you on that sphere? Or do you think there's other one?
Well, as far as Final Fantasy goes, I would definitely say that it's up there. But there are a lot of elements about it that just infuriate me. Now, I've recently learned that the one I played was the DS version, which apparently is like Final Fantasy IV on fucking crack, like we've said
apparently
earlier.
There's like a lot of balancing things that they've done to make it way harder.
Yeah. So now, and I played that as a kid, so back then story didn't matter as much, and the game was notoriously difficult for my little feeble 10 or 11-year-old brain. So,
and that's what a lot of people have told me, because a lot of the old heads I know that have played it, they played it as Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And that had like way easier like scaling and stuff like that. Like, it was an easier game. It wasn't so buffed up. But every time they say, bro, like, it's like, have you played Final Fantasy VI? Which is one I have played, and I love Final Fantasy VI. Like, all the people out there that are like, oh, my favorite's Final Fantasy VII. It's like, oh, when were you born? Yesterday? Like, go play a good one. Go play Final Fantasy VI. It's a way better game. And one that honestly deserves a remake more than 7, in my opinion. Because you can make that cinematic and big and bombastic, and it would be just as great. I also like the RPG system in there. With like the class system. I really, really like that. But yeah, no, Final Fantasy IV, I've heard from so many people, and people give me so much crap that I haven't played it, and they've said it's one of the best like RPGs of all time. Through that extension, there's a lot of other Final Fantasy games I haven't played as well, because I haven't played 1 through 5, which I know like the first 3 are basically kind of like very primitive, so to speak.
Oh yeah,
like very just kind of you know, like fight the bad guy sort of thing.
They were trying from the same template that created Dragon Quest 1 through 3. So.
Yeah, I've played all through 6, which is my favorite Final Fantasy, which is great. I've played through 7, which is it's okay. I think it's really overrated in my opinion. I've played through.
It's overrated, but it's my favorite for sure.
That's fair.
It's not a bad game. I just think it's overrated.
No, it is.
I've played through most of Final Fantasy VIII. I haven't finished it because that's one of those games where the game has scaled enemies, so it gets harder the longer you play it. The longer you play the game, the harder the game gets. And so there's a point where it's just like, you have enough. Hey, just have enough. 9, I haven't played because it missed me with that furry shit.
Yeah.
But apparently it's really good, so I might play it. 10? Yeah, you bet your ass I've played 10. I get 10 around here somewhere. Yeah. Maybe you should stop
What about
laughing.
10-2?
Yeah, I played 10-2. I don't have 10-2 with me, though. I gave it to a buddy of mine, and he was supposed to give it to me back, and then I moved, which, whatever, don't worry about it. If you're listening to this, don't worry. I keep 10-2. 11, I think, was an MMO, or a multiplayer game.
That's 12, I think.
Oh, 12?
Or 12, one of the two.
Isn't it Final Fantasy 12 online?
Oh, maybe.
One of the two. Like,
it's one of those two.
11 or 12. One of the two is multiplayer, and the other one isn't. I haven't played that one. Final Fantasy 14, I played before it became a new game. Like, when it first came out.
Shit.
When it was awful. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing any more of this. That was trash. And then they're like, no, it's a whole new game. I'm like, I don't care. It's already in my head. It's already in my mind space. I don't care. It's my mind palace. I'm not going to play this game anymore. And how much...
Let's be real. People aren't playing it for the game. They're playing it so they can make models to operate.
They're for the ERP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even better.
Then Final Fantasy 13, I have played a bit of, and it's honestly not that good. So I don't really care. And then Final Fantasy 15, I haven't played. And I kind of, it's just like, I never got around to it. And then Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in a couple weeks, and I'm just not interested at all. So, but specifically Final Fantasy 4, that's like one of the games I want to get to eventually. And it's like $15 on the Pixel remasters, but it's one of those where I do want to get, I think it's like, if you get 6, you can get like all of them in a bundle, and it's like $80 or something like that, which I know like some people complain, but it's like pound for pound, like gameplay wise, you are getting your money's worth. Those are long games, like you're getting your money's worth.
I think it's stupid actually that they've went to the game's gonna be $70 now. Come on.
It's only 70 for you? Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's in the US, right?
Fellow CAD bros, it's over.
Yeah.
Canadian dollar bros, it's so over.
It's gonna do another $10 increase, and I'm gonna fucking die.
Minus
we
tax.
are approaching triple-digit games.
Yeah. Minus tax, it's like $95. Here, it's like like €60, €70. But my Steam is still on a Canadian account, so when I'm working here and making money, my games are actually cheaper.
Yeah. Lucky bastard.
Yeah, they're like, it's like cheaper by like $3. If I bought them,
$3 that I could have
$3
had.
is $3.
$3 to $3. But anyway, so yeah, that's the end of our list here. These are our backlogs, and fellas, I gotta say, in a measure to do ice breaking, I think it worked really well, and we all have fabulous taste.
Yeah.
We all.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I love. I mean, we had such great variety between the games we had and stuff. I think we really we covered a lot. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's why I wish Mike would have had his. If I can get him to get his going, for the next video, we'll do it really quickly because we got a lot of crap to go through. But
oh boy, yeah, it's gonna be a chunky one.
And this is one. The next one, it's gonna be chunky, and I can't justifiably cut most of it out. This is like we gotta talk about each one, so it's gonna be long.
TomCast 2, the big red one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty good. And just like with Mike, we all have kind of like, we all share a lot, but we also all have like very kind of different tastes that are like kind of unique in our own way. So
Yeah,
I think it worked out really, really well. And so with that, because I said it was going to be a shorter one, but I'm looking at it here and it's 2 hours, so it's just a normal one.
Yeah. Well, what can you say?
Seen it coming, but whatever. Oh, we'll go into our final thing, as we do usually with every episode, which is, fellas, what have we been playing and or watching? And so, as the new co-host Wavez, what have you been playing or watching lately?
Oh, it's I'm in my 9 to 5 routine right now. So right now it's been a rotation of some of my Elder Scrolls games and old Fallouts. I've been recently running through every Fallout game in order, doing another Fallout 1 playthrough. We'll be hopping into 2 here pretty soon. Then I'll go 3 for New Vegas, or 3 New Vegas 4. And I like to do the same. I'll probably after that I'll go back to the Elder Scrolls as well. I'm a huge Daggerfall, Morrowind fan, so always fun to play. But that's basically been it.
Yeah, I kind of been doing that as well lately, in the sense that I'm playing all the Bethesda games leading up to the launch of Starfield, just to kind of see how they change with time and things.
Yeah.
And so last time it was Elder Scrolls 4, because I recently did a playthrough of Daggerfall and Morrowind like last year, so I'm like, those are fresh in my mind. I'll just go start at 4. So I finished that, and then haven't started 3 yet, but I should be starting that soon. I did kind of get all my ducks in a row and get it so it's like playable, like for more or not Morrowind, for Oblivion. I just did like vanilla plus like mods where it doesn't change a whole lot. It just kind of spruces it up and makes it a bit nicer.
One thing you gotta do, I think, is change the damn enemy leveling. I'm not Oblivion's biggest fan, by any measure, but it's pretty fun once the enemies are balanced out. I think the biggest thing for me is the art direction. I just can't get behind the rubber faces and stuff. I know people are nostalgic for it and stuff, but I just think Oblivion with all the bloom and shit just looked really hard, like on my eyes.
Some of it can for sure. Even though, like, I really do like some of it, because, like, it looks like a pastel painting, Oblivion. So I really like that about it. But yeah, like, some of the stuff is kind of hard on the eyes, for better and for worse.
I just think the characters, I'm like, that's the one thing. I'm like, if the characters looked a little bit more better, I would really be able to like it more.
You should, I should send you the mod list that I use for my latest one, because you'd probably enjoy it quite a bit, because it fixes quite a stuff.
Please do. I like vanilla plus experiences. I'm not a big person on modding where you basically create a whole new game out of it. Unless I'm like run through it like to the ends of the earth like New Vegas or something. I'm like, all right, give me a mod that just is a completely new game.
Yeah, for sure. But alrighty. Andrew, what about you?
As I've kind of alluded to, more Divinity.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been going through more some Pathfinder Kingmaker as well. Finally got to the kingdom building element of it.
We were talking about that when I was in Canada.
Nice.
So now the game's opening up, and now I'm gearing for another 20 to 30 hours of time invested. So that'll be fun. And then on occasion, I've also been playing. Now, don't burn me for this, Tom. I know your opinion on furries, but there's a digital board game called Armello that I'll sometimes boot up if I'm looking for something just.
I don't think I've heard of it, so you should be safe.
Armello.
No, yeah. So it's a digital board game. Get it on Steam. The objective is just to become the next king or queen of the land, following the current ruler being corrupted by this evil magic called the Rock.
I searched it up on Steam and it says ignored.
Yeah. Oh, you ignored it? Yeah. I'm not surprised and I'm not mad. So sometimes I'll boot that up on occasion because I like how it plays.
The only furry RPG that I play is Ni no Kuni 2.
Ni no Kuni. Ooh.
God, that game's so good. That game is so good. You ever had a chance to play those games, Andrew?
I have not.
You know what? I'll put those as my honorable mention since you have an honorable mention.
Yeah. Those are good ones. They're good games, especially 2. I think you like because it has like kingdom management like mechanics and like a little like tactics like strategy like mini game as well where you control armies and that. It's not like it's really rock paper scissors type of stuff, but it's
right.
It's a really cute game and it looks gorgeous too. It's basically like Ghibli animation done live. Like it looks gorgeous. Oh,
and then for watching, I do plan on watching the new Spooder Dude film at some point.
Yeah. Did you see the new Guardians movie?
I did.
Oh yeah, of course you did. You ditched me. You ditched me. I come all the way to Canada to go hang out, and you're like, "Nah, I gotta watch this with my whatever." I hate Tom. I hate him.
That's right. Can't stand Tom. Fuck that guy.
You know.
Yeah. Fun fact, everyone. Everyone that is not Tom on the TomCast is actually plotting against him.
Mm-hmm.
We're gang stalking.
Yeah.
In fact,
it's working because I haven't played CK2 in ever. So
that's right. We've all been maxing out our intrigue skill.
Yeah,
we're all currently working on a plot together. You're gonna see yourself the pose there, Tom.
Invite the plot from fucking Andrew. Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Why not?
No.
120% power.
No. What'd you think of Guardians? I haven't seen it yet, so.
Guardians 3 was a breath of fresh air, considering most of Marvel's output as of late. So, yeah, no, that is definitely one that I'd recommend.
Okay. I'll have to watch it one of these days. I was gonna watch it when I was in Canada because it's like problem with living here in Italy is that I think I mentioned it before, but most of the movies that come out they're dubbed over in Italian, and it's not like a bad thing because like I know Italian, but it's that you know the original cast and what they look like and what they're supposed to sound like, and so when they're not speaking not speaking English and you know what they sound like, it's kind of off-putting. But I did, on the other hand, I did watch the new Spooderverse. Saw that on Saturday, and I got a few things to say about that, but I'll get to it when I get to it. Do you got anything more to say, Andrew?
All I only have to ask, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down for you?
Okay, well then I guess if you that, I'll get into my stuff now. For Spooderverse, it's a thumbs up with some caveats, which are understandable because I do get it. At first I was like, what the hell, like what the frig, but then I learned that there's a new movie coming out literally next year, so it's not too bad. But this is one of those movies that like it doesn't actually end. Like it's like it gets to a point and then it's like we gotta go do this. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. And it's like, yeah, and we're gonna do it now. And then the movie ends. Like type of thing. Like that's like abrupt ending. Because this was like part 1 of 2, basically. Because it's supposed to be Across the Spider-Verse 1, part 1. And then they just renamed the second one to Beyond the Spider-Verse. But yeah, so like it ends. Like it ends like basically in the middle of the story. So it's like really? It's but apart from that, I really liked it. I really like the animation's great. Like
that almost goes without saying these days.
And like I think the same studio's doing like a New Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. That
Ooh.
That's gonna be cool. That's a franchise they ran into the ground. I totally forgot about that.
It's like one of those where like people are giving it crap because it's like, oh, April doesn't look that way, and these people are acting dumb, and it's made by Seth Rogen, and I'm like, yeah, but the animation looks gorgeous.
Yes.
It looks gorgeous. So
Donatello, we need to smoke weed, dude. Holy crap! Instead of pizza, it's weed. With pizza weed.
yeah.
James Franco, what do you think about this?
Ooh,
We got this new strain.
nowadays,
It's
are
called
they?
sewer
Yeah,
sludge. Yeah, it's called the ooze. When you oil like a strain of weed, of crystal weed.
Crystal weed.
I liked it. I liked the characters in it. Now, mind you, fellas, this was what I did. It wasn't Italian dubbed, so it was like this is an animated movie, so it's kind of fine. But it was good. I really liked the characters. I liked I like the characters. I wish there were like there's no apart from like Gwen and Peter B. Parker and Miles Morales, there's like no real recurring characters. Apart from, like Miles's parents and stuff like that. But
so no Noir.
Yeah, there's no Noir, no Penny Parker, which I love Penny Parker. No Spider-Ham. There's no Spider-Ham. Spider prosciutto. Spider prosciutto. That's what they call it. Io sono il spider. Yeah, spider prosciutto. It's spider ham.
Sono il spider prosciutto.
Spider ham. Yeah.
Sono porco prosciutto.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it was really good. The new Spider-Man that they introduced, some of them were pretty cool. Some of them not. There's one that's like Spider-Punk, and it's like, think punk anarchist Spider-Man and every worst thing that you can think of the top of your head, and it's true.
Oh yeah, he's been around for a while.
He's been around for a while, and I'm like, man, I knew that coming in, and I heard that he was gonna be a part of the story, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna see it. And what's funny though is that in the theater, every time he said like any of his like punk anarchist stuff, the theater groaned. Like, my die. And it's like, oh, yes. I'm amongst my own people, thankfully.
Good. There's hope for us after all.
But, no, I liked it. And, yeah, I guess I gotta wait a year now. Or less than a year, but... So, we'll see. But, that was really good. I really liked that. I said earlier, I saw Ocean's 11 and Goodfellas as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was really great, especially on the big screen, especially with the director coming in and saying his little thing.
Now that was so dope that Scorsese was there.
Yeah, Martino Scorsese. As they introduced him, and he knows no Italian. He spoke only English, which is funny. But
buongiorno.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Gorwa. But on to games. I got quite a bit to say. So, I played 4 games lately. 4 games. So I'm gonna blast through 2 quickly because I don't have a lot of things to say. I have good things to say. One of them is called Planet of Lana, which is it's a Game Pass game right now, which is it's kind of like your Limbo or Inside, like sort of like side scroller, story driven, sort of like kind of platformer, like where you solve puzzles and stuff like that. That one's like you play a girl that's from this village, and like basically robots from another planet invade your planet and take your sister away, and so you're basically on a quest to get your sister back, sort of thing. And so I think I played like an hour or 2 of it so far, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, but I kind of put that down. Second game I'm playing through right now and really loving. I'm playing Warhammer 40k Boltgun, which is that
that's the new Warhammer boomer shooter.
Yeah, it's the Warhammer boomer shooter, and it's one of those where like it's like I'm just like, wow, Warhammer 40k boomer shooter. Yeah, I'll play it. And then I saw the picture, and it's an ultramarine, but he's got the beaky helmet. He's got like the Mark 6 helmet, which is like with the beak, like the old school one. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm playing that. The thing that surprised me is that it's not just like, oh, it's like, this is a fun, haha, like tee-hee Warhammer game. No, this is actually like a good boomer shooter as well, which surprised me. Like, it's like, oh, wow, okay. It's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about like done chapter 1 of 3. So I got other ones to go through. Those are really good. And then, yeah, I'll keep playing through that. And then, I just finished not too long ago another boomer shooter, which is something I didn't know I wanted, but it's the most beautiful disaster ever. It's called Slayer's X Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer. It's this like boomer shooter. Imagine a boomer shooter, Andrew, made by a teenager in the late 90s who listens to like Limp Bizkit and like Linkin Park and nu metal. And he goes like on MS Paint and like makes his own like Doom mod. And it's everything you think it is. So it's like, my name is Zane. I'm an X-Slayer. Like he has like his pistols. God. And when you shoot your pistols, he does like gangster like kill shot. Like gangster.
My gosh.
And it's like I got the S blade. And it's like stuff like that. It's basically like, you know, he'll like kill you, and like all these boomer shooters, there's like, you know, taunts and things like that they always say. It's like, sorry for killing you. Actually, I meant to do that, idiot. Like really like dumb, like late 90s teen humor, what I thought. And it's just, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like you're more sloppy than your mom. Type of thing, and like stuff like that. One of my favorite, there's so many like jokes in this game that are really specific. Like this, the people who made this know what they were doing. Like you can't just make this a joke and not get it. Like you have to like really understand what like this would be. Like basically making a Doom mod from that era. Like it takes a very specific mind, and they know exactly what they're doing. Simple things like bad Doom mods from the day, they only really had like a front or back sprite. They don't have a side sprite. So, and those old crappy Doom mods, if like somebody turned to the side, or they're going like left and right, like into your perspective, like if the enemy's going left or right, it's basically like as if they were like flat and then they turn and you see basically almost nothing.
Right,
so like this game does that. It does things like that where it's like you would normally like, you know, not to do that, but they do that purposefully because they're trying to make like a dumb game. There's so many misspellings, like there's so, like purposeful misspellings that are so funny. Like it's like my name is Zane. For 20 years I've been biding my time. Instead of like biting, like BIDING, it's like biting, like taking a bite.
Oh my god!
Like I'm biting my time. One of my favorite ones is called it's called the Glass Blasta. It's like your shotgun. And you basically like you chalk like glass shards into like this gun and you just shoot it, and that's like your shotgun. Every time you like pick up a glass shard, it says like picked up one glass shard. Like with a T, and it's
I like that 90s ironic.
It's so funny. Like you go into like, because this is a game made by a guy in the 90s, so he puts all the music he likes in the game, but it's like not the music playing in the game. He'll put the music he likes in boom boxes in the game. And when you turn on the boom boxes, it's like that kind of music, super compressed and so friggin' loud, it's funny. Like it's so loud. The whole game is so amazing. Loud. Like people laughing and things like that. Like there's these like psycho clowns and that. They're like just continuously laughing and they don't stop laughing. Everything compounded together, it's so loud and obnoxious. It's so funny. But yeah, so I really like that game. But final game, and I beat through it. It is as I suspected. When I left, I'm like, this game better be fixed when I get back. And guess what? By the time I got back, they indeed fixed Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
The game in which you have 10,000 days played.
Yeah,
right?
I have 19,000.
I mean, you put in all those days before it was fixed. Even
Yeah,
I mean, it's
before
gonna
they
be a whole
patched
different
it.
game now.
I've been playing it for 53 years before they patched it.
That's right. Oh boy.
And it's one of those games where, like, before playing through it, I'm like, this game is really, really good despite the bugs. But it's one of those where it's like, is this game gonna make it into my contenders? Is it like, could it make it into my...
Don't spoil it, by the way.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. But it's like one of those where it's like, is it gonna make it on here? Or should I like purposely not put it on the list because it is unacceptable that they release the game in that state? Let me just tell you, by the time I got to the end of the game, I'm like, screw that, it's going on the list. It is... Respawn understands Star Wars. They understand it on a level that is just, I've been missing and craving for so long that it's so good. The story in this game, like, I liked the characters of like Cal Kestis, Seer, and Grease, especially Grease. I love my greasy money, baby. From the first one, like I liked those characters, and Marin as well. My nice sister waifu. I like those characters in that game. In this game, I love those characters now. Those characters are incredible, fantastic characters. They do in this story. The problem with a lot of Star Wars is that like it needs to be interconnected with everything else. Like it's got to be like this. It's got to be that. Jedi Survivor is like its own story that has its own little thing that's going on that doesn't connect to anything else. It doesn't have to connect to anything else. Like, it's his own little self-contained thing. And the direction it goes in is really, really, really friggin' cool. Like, the only thing, it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but there's a lot of stuff that they get into the High Republic. And it's stuff that, like, before this game, the High Republic is like, yeah, I don't really care about the High Republic. It's whatever. It's just kind of, it's a whatever setting. After this game, it's like, damn, I think I'm going to get the books. I'm going to go get the books now. I'm going to go read these stupid comics. Like, I'm interested to see what's going on here. Like, story-wise, it's incredible. There are, I'm not going to say it, but there are twists in this game. Some that it's like, oh yeah, that's typical. That's typical of Star Wars. It's wonderful, and I like it. Some that are atypical of Star Wars, that it's like, huh, I didn't expect the character to do that. I kind of thought they might have done that, but I'm glad that they did, because that's like an interesting thing. And then there's twists that are like, I did not see that coming, and that completely changes how the game ends. Like,
so good.
And it just...
I don't get why they don't let Respawn do like a remake of the KOTOR games and stuff. I think they would be the best ones to do it, straight up. And like Respawn's working on a Star Wars shooter right now that's supposed to be like Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, which I'm really interested in. Because when they say it's like, hey, our main inspiration for the game we're working on is Jedi Knight 2, and I'm like, okay, gimme that crack. Gimme.
And then the other one is working with another studio for a Star Wars strategy game, like RTS or something like that, which I'm really interested in as well.
Oh, so cool.
Okay.
Empire at
Yes,
War Remastered. Let's go.
Please.
That'd be fun.
But they hit it out of the park. Gameplay wise, it's everything about like Fallen Order, but they built up on it. Like, you get all of your powers already from the beginning. You don't have to do it. You just build up from there. So it's even better. And stuff
so
like that.
dope.
The different lightsaber stances are so friggin' cool. Like the ones that I use, because there's like there's single, two sabers, double bladed sabers, saber and pistol, which is like you basically, it's almost like Bloodborne, where like you could use your pistol as like sort of a to like stagger people or like to block their attack or whatever. So like you could use it as that, and then when you use the pistol and the saber that way, the saber stance is like form 2, So it's like it's
Oh,
that
so
like
Juku
fencing.
style.
Yeah, it's a
Nice.
fencing stuff. So it's so cool. And then the other one I use pistol and saber. That was one stance I used for most of the game. The other one was crossguard stance.
Oh,
Like
crossguard.
Kylo Ren, like old Republic, High Republic, like crossguard saber. That one's basically like a saber claymore. Like you think of like the Souls games where like, yeah, you got your big long swords or your claymore, which are like long, heavy hitters. That's what that is, basically in lightsaber form.
Oh.
And it's so satisfying to play through.
So they went even further with the Dark Souls but Star Wars format. Then that's good.
It's not as tough as the first game, which is kind of a little bit disappointing.
Aw. Well, I don't care actually. I think I'm pretty sure I put the first game on easy because I was mostly in it for the story.
But
fair.
it's like it's good enough. Like the difficulty is decent. I think you can always increase it or decrease it, but it's
Cool.
it's great. Like gameplay, perfect evolution. And like graphics, it looks good and it runs decently now. So it's kind of mostly fixed. It's still got a ways to go, but great in that.
Respawn could do a Force Unleashed remaster,
Oh
just
my
up
goodness.
texture it and do it in there.
That would be cool.
Sick.
That would be cool.
I know that's like somewhat mainstream if you like Star Wars, but man, more people that are like watching the new stuff need to see fucking just a playthrough of the Force Unleashed. I love that story,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and the voice acting in it is just so top notch.
Sam Witwer's so great.
Loves
Sam Witwer.
that franchise. So
Yeah, you were not supposed to be here. I lied. I love that. Oh, I love Sam
your
Witwer.
feelings for her are not real.
They are real to
Me. No, I love that.
Oh, and the Euphoria like engine in that game. Oh, it's so good. Like you're just ripping things and throwing them at stormtroopers. Yeah, really good. But no, Jedi.
On that note of underrated God of War, like, do you guys ever play Dante's Inferno?
yeah.
That game is
It
criminally
is criminally
underrated. That's honorary mention on my backlog. I need to play that again.
I don't even know where you can get it, but I hope it's somewhere.
You can get it on the 360 online
Oh,
marketplace.
nice. If that's the case, then
Or the I think it's backwards compatible on Xbox One, so you can buy it on Xbox One.
nice. I'll have to take a look then, but yeah, no.
Love
But
that game.
anyway, yeah, my closing thoughts on it is that Jedi Survivor is the best Star Wars game I played in a long time. And as a single player game, it's honestly like as a single player Star Wars game, like if it's running and when it's firing on all cylinders, it's like Knights of the Old Republic level. Like it is that good. When you get to the end of the game and you see how the game ends, I'm like, holy shit. Like put my headphones down, like hand on my head, like, oh my god, what a journey. What an incredible journey. Like it's one where I almost wanted to play it all over again because it's so good. There's so many cool character things that they do in this game. And this has, without spoiling it, it's basically like it is a Empire Strikes Back of this series. It does have like an ending that is like, wow. Like, okay. Now I see where we're going. Like it's dope. It's like it's worth it. And of course, if you have a PC that can run it, it's only like 15 euros for the EA Play Pro and you get access to it. So that's how I did it. And so, that's basically all I gotta say. The games I've been playing lately, we've been eating good this year. I'm not gonna lie. This year we're feasting. There's a lot of good stuff. So, and there's still so much more to go. Yeah, so that's basically all I gotta say. You guys got anything more to say?
I think we've got everything down.
Oh well, fellas, my friends, it has been a great start to this goofy little podcast with a new little saga arc that is opening up. And so, Waves, my friend, it was great to chat with you, and I'm glad to have you on as the new co-host.
It was amazing to be here, Tom. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man. It's always a pleasure talking. I love discussion, so it's awesome. Love to be here. Thank you, man.
You fit right in, and my only regret, I wish Mike was here because it'd be twice as long with Mike here because we'd have another one. It'd be hell to edit, but I think with the four of us, we'd have a wonderful, cool conversation. So I think it's really good. Andrew, you got anything to say?
Only that we'll have to revive Mike at some point, but otherwise, yeah.
We'll get him back. We'll get him back. Don't you worry.
It's always a grand old time, as always. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah, this is one. By the time you guys listen to this, there'll be events that will happen in the week that we'll be recording from. Basically, our next episode will be our not E3, or not P3, as I like to say, special. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking about the Sony showcase that already happened. So we're going to talk about the Sony showcase. We're going to talk about Summer Game Fest. We're going to talk about any games that release in between there that I think are of note, and I'll put into the thread. And then if we can all get it together, I hope so, because on the Sunday we'll record our thoughts. Hopefully we're all together when the Xbox showcase starts, so we could watch that together and then record right after and have our thoughts. But it's yeah, you guys better prepare yourself. It's going to be a long episode, and there's not going to be a lot to cut out. So look forward to it, doses. Or don't look forward to it. So that's all I really got to say. And so, any closing remarks?
I think we're good. Everybody just be safe.
Yeah. Well, fellas, this is Tom the Chosen One, of course, and I'm all wishing you a very, very wonderful day and or evening, depending where you are in the world. So, with that, you guys, take it easy.